Oh my, Laurice feels that way about me?
Okay, I'm also decided I'm reading Edgeworth's voice as my voice because it killed me last time to try to voice Edgeworth. So... apparently he isn't aware of your real secret at all. This is no time to be embarrassed.
I'm sorry. I'm just hardly accustomed to that sort of thing.
Worry not. And in any case, whatever it is that he saw on the night of the incident, mark my words, I will drag it out of him.
Does this mean Mr. Laurice is the witness today?
No. I believe that nun will be the first to take the stand.
Sister Bikini?
She claims to have seen the very instant in which you carried out the crime. I just wanted to ask you one more time. It really wasn't you who killed Miss Elise Donim, was it?
That is correct. It wasn't me.
Very well, then.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes?
You're a prosecutor, aren't you? Are you sure about this? If your true identity is revealed?
Don't worry. I've made the necessary arrangements.
I see.
Iris, it is a prosecutor's job to doubt people. But right now, I am a defense attorney. A defense attorney's job is to believe in people, and to believe until the bitter end. That's what my friend told me once.
Which friend? Mr. Edgeworth.
I simply ask that you watch and decide for yourself whether or not I am fit to do the task I have been entrusted.
Very well, sir. I leave my defense in your capable hands.
Court is now in session for the trial of Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The defense does indeed appear to be ready. Yep, this is Canadian Judge. However, the same cannot be said for the prosecution in this case. Indeed. I'm not sure I like such a blatant waste of this court's time. An empty prosecutor's chair can only mean that the prosecutor has no confidence in their ability to prove their case. It would seem this case is already over before it had a chance to begin. I am ready to announce my verdict at this time. The court finds the defendant...
Objection! Shit.
I forgot this was a thing! Von Karma was prosecuting. How the fuck was I voicing her?
The prosecution stands ready.
And you are?
Franziska Von Karma, prosecuting prodigy.
Von Karma, you say? Perchance, you wouldn't be of any relation to the legendary Manfred Von Karma.
Legends are a thing of the past. I am a Von Karma, that is all. Upon a special request, I flew in today for the purpose of prosecuting this case.
You did? Then you must be quite a big shot, eh? By the way, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. I'm almost certain that I've seen you somewhere before. Or am I just imagining things? You look very much like a prosecutor I met once. I believe you are imagining things, Your Honor. Miss Von Karma, do you have anything to say?
There's no such weakling as this man among those of the prosecutor's office.
There isn't, but I'm sure once before in this courtroom. Ah!
I told you, there is no such weakling.
What is that, a whip? I'm not sure I care for such a thing in my courtroom. Bailiff, remove that whip
Hold it!
I have no objection to the whip. You don't. The prosecution can wield a whip or drink 17 cups of coffee. There is still only one truth. That is what I stand here to prove today.
This promises to be interesting, Miles Edgeworth. I had expected to face Phoenix Wright here today. But, looking at you now, maybe this is what I have been waiting for all this time. Miles Edgeworth, I will not allow this chance to crush you slip through my fingers. I want to read that as fingertips. That doesn't make sense.
I see you brought your flair for the histrionic. Allow me to add the things I'm not sure about. People acting bizarrely in my court. Ah!
The stage is set. Now continue with the proceedings, Your Honor.
Very well. Miss Von Karma, please give an outline of this case. With as little whipping as possible.
The murder victim is the famed picture book author, Miss Elise Donim. Her body was found in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. She had been stabbed through the torso by a ceremonial sword from a golden statue.
The sword in this picture is the weapon in question, correct? Very well. The court accepts this photo of the crime scene.
Whip it good. Hey, Lesby Metal, welcome. Thank you for the bits. There's no mistake. This was the doing of Sister Iris. After all, there is a witness to her crime.
Very well. Please bring this witness to the stand. And so it begins. My first and last trial as a defense attorney.
Witness, state your name and occupation, please.
Hold on here. I'm not sure about being not sure if I care for this at all. Witness, please stand up nice and straight. If I recall correctly, there are a few milk crates in the defendant's lobby for our back-plagued witness.
Burb and I love the Ace Attorney streams. Yay! Hello, Burb.
Bailiff, fetch a crate for this poor lady, please.
Once again, your name and occupation, please. Little old me? Well, I'm the head nun of Kazakura Temple on Eagle Mountain. My name's Bikini. You got it? Bikini. Nice to meet everyone.
But you don't appear to be wearing a bikini right now.
Ah! The courtroom is the garden of holy judgment. Those with lechery in their hearts should leave this sanctuary at once.
You want me to leave?
No need to get your bikinis in a twist. Let me tell you, I'm a sight to behold in the summer. In any case, witness, I hear that you saw the crime take place on the night in question. That's right. I can still hardly believe it myself, to be honest. There's no way dear little Iris could do anything like that. Canadian judge is back, yes.
Let's hear what you have to say, then. First, tell us about your own movements that night, eh?
That night I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but... well, as you can see, my back likes to act up, violently. So, I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple. There's no bath at the inner temple, you see, and I needed a long, hot soak. It was after that I'd finished, that I was heading, it was after I had finished, just as I was heading back, that's when I saw it. Yeah, I know, I can't believe they actually wrote a boot there. So it was simply coincidence that you found yourself returning to Hazakura Temple? Yes, you could say that. If my back hadn't been in so much pain, I would have stayed at the inner temple. That sounds like a pretty important statement she just made. There's only one problem with this testimony that I can see. And you're not about to fall at the first hurdle, now are you, Miles Edgeworth?
Mr. Edgeworth, please begin your cross-examination.
Okay, hold on, let's look at the court record. Attorney's badge. That was weird, my controller just disconnected and reconnected, okay. Murder weapon has the victim's blood on it and suspect's fingerprints. Shows Misty Faye. Iris's hood. Protects her from evil spirits. This is the letter from Larry Butts to Iris. Salutation here. This is the map. Okay. Weather data. Lightning 10 to 11. Struck Dusky Bridge at 10:45. 30 minutes past. Hello, sexy moderator, Siren Liv. Let's see. Okay, this picture. Iris's testimony. Rang lights 10 p.m. and then was in a room until the murder was discovered. Body felt 10 feet after death. Courtyard. Okay. Let's go. Okay. Okay. That night I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but... What is this inner temple? Well, see, conversing with the spirits is what we train people to do, right?
We'll be the ones asking you the questions, madam.
In order to do that, a place strong in spiritual power is required. There's a small temple across Dusky Bridge called the Inner Temple. Acolytes must spend an entire night there to undergo intense training.
And how exactly do you help with this process?
It is all quite exacting. It can't be performed without a nun supervising. Yeah, I also tried to tune into your Shield stream, because I saw you were streaming, and then I walked away, and when I came back, you were done. I was like, no! I think I, like, just missed it. Yeah, I see. Got it. Like a tutor, watching to make sure a spoiled child studies. A tutor with a whip in your case. If that's the case, then why did you return to Hazakura Temple where the murder took place? Well, as you can see, my back likes to act up violently.
Violently?
That's right. It's no laughing matter, especially in the winter. I can't hold anything heavier than a knife and fork during the cold months. Just being alive is like strict training. On the night of the murder, was this fabulous back of yours hurting again? That's right. Raging like a bull in a pig pen. I almost fainted once or twice. I just knew that unless I warmed it up, it was going to finally finish me off. So I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple.
Yeah, it sounds like it sucks.
You left Iris to help. With what? What do you think? The acolyte's training, of course. It was just past 10 p.m., so we were starting to enter into the training exercises proper.
Wasn't it your place to remain with the disciple?
Well, the job is simply to watch over the acolytes so that they don't pass away. Just to confirm this point again, that night, you met Iris in the inner temple, correct? Yes, she's a gentle, honest girl. She's never once failed to follow my directions. How could she... Lights out. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay. There's no bath at the inner temple, you see, and I needed a long hot soak. So you returned to the Hazakura Temple in order to take a bath? My back is to blame for everything. It's a do or be done in kind of world, after all. How long were you in the bath for, if you don't mind me asking? My, what a filthy little rogue you are. I know what's on your mind. I bet your next question is gonna be, where exactly did you wash? Ah, this is why you have to watch the young ones. What are you going on about? I was... Pathetic, Miles Edgeworth.
The lowest of the low. Is there some sort of kick-me sign stuck to the defense's bench?
Anyway, I couldn't afford to be away from my post for too long, you understand, so... It was after I had finished, just as I was heading back, that's when I saw it. The crime took place in the courtyard, correct? When you go from my room to the main hall, you have to take a winding hallway from which you can see the courtyard. That's right. In other words, it was pure coincidence that the witness saw the crime taking place before her eyes. There was no complicated setup in this case.
That certainly seems to be true.
There's indeed only one problem with this testimony. If I can clearly point out what it is, then I can begin to quantify just how good this witness's memory and observation skills are. Why haven't you convinced? Because I don't want to. Yeah, exactly. Maybe one day. I don't know. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Let's see. 1, 2. I feel like... Is this one? You left Iris to help the Acolyte. How did she ring lights out? I'm gonna present. Witnesses have to undergo their own trials, I'm afraid. The defendant's fate rests on their power of observation and memory, after all. Well, 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 don't worry. I'm more than up to the task. I'm a woman of faith, after all, the head honcho of Hazakura Temple. In that case, Miss Honcho, I'd like you to explain something to me. The discrepancy between your testimony and that of the defendant, Iris. She claims that after ringing the lights-out bell, she went back and stayed in her room. Which means she did not go to the inner temple at all. No, she said that? A defendant or a witness? Who is more likely to lie, do you suppose? The defendant is simply lying to cover her back. But that's completely illogical. The murder was committed in the courtyard of Hazakura Temple. Claiming that she went to the inner temple would make for a much better alibi. But that is odd. Whatever the reason, I can't believe that she would lie.
She does indeed have honest eyes. Ah!
All people lie. That's my belief.
Why am I the only one being whipped in here? Anyway, neither witness nor the defendant have any reason to lie. Which means... we must call your memory into question.
Dear, dear, dear. You're older than me and yet you want to play that game, do you?
Well, that isn't exactly what I...
My memory is perfect, crystal clear, especially in the winter.
Then, I suppose it's too early to end this cross-examination, eh? Mr. Edgeworth, if you are going to question the memory of this witness, you will need to show me a more decisive piece of evidence.
Understood, Your Honor. I was naive to think that alone would do the trick.
Then please add your comment about Iris to the testimony.
Motherfucker.
Let us return to the cross-examination.
Oh, fuck, hold on. Wait, didn't she just add... Hold on, what did she just add to the testimony? Oh, yeah, no, this was what she added, right? There's no bath, okay. Oh, this got updated. She was dressed exactly as she had been at dinner. Drink to a boot? Yeah, I'll drink. I need water anyway. Okay, she was dressed exactly as she had been at dinner. But... she wasn't fucking wearing her hood because she gave it to Phoenix Wright. Witness, let's get one thing straight. The defendant whom you claim to have met, she was wearing this demon warding hood, correct? Of course. That is a very important piece of clothing, I'll have you know. Wait a minute. Hold it right there. Why do you have that? That's the question of the day now, isn't it, Miss Von Karma? I'll have you know that this hood was given to someone as a gift that night. Before the lights out bell was rung. What? You know where I'm going with this, don't you? If the witness had seen the defendant as she claims, then the iris she saw should have been missing this very hood. Well. It's not a bad feeling at all, exposing contradictions like this. Now I understand that happy look on Wright's face every time he does it. Order in the court. Ah, sister. This hood. You have spare runs around the temple, don't you? Spares? Well, I do tend to make too many of them.
And I see. A stockpile. A surplus of hoods, eh?
Each nun is only given one hood. You're good at looking at the hair guy's eyes, Crime. Oh, really? I have no idea what my eye tracking looks like for this game. I actually totally forgot it was on. Of course it's on. This should be the only hood that Iris owned.
Then this is quite strange.
If there was a surplus of hoods, then she could have worn one of those. There is no contradiction here. Are you talking about Edgeworth? And Von Karma? Yeah. I'm sorry to break this to you, Miss Von Karma, but you won't get away that easily. Discrepancies such as this will sow seeds in any human heart. The seeds of doubt.
Witness. Well, I don't wish to call your testimony into doubt. You must give every detail with precision.
I'm not sure I'm comfortable going along with this. Sister, you shall continue with your testimony. Tell us what you saw after finishing your bath on your way back to the inner temple. Well, I mean, they are my favorite characters, guys. Those seeds of doubt are sprouting in the judge's heart. They just need a little more stimulation to bear fruit. Bleh, I misread several words in that. They just need a little more stimulation to bear fruit. Contradictory stimulation. Von Karma's such a good character. She's so good. You guys saw how happy I was when I forgot that she was in this case. And she showed up. Who doesn't, right? I finished my bath around 11, and I thought I should return to the inner temple. And as I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard. I took a look and... Iris was... Oh, Mystic Elise. And with that sword of all things? Mystic Elise was staying in the corner room, which faces out onto the courtyard. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out her window.
You saw a truly terrible sight, didn't you? If I was in your place, then it would be much like Miss Von Karma whipping Mr. Edgeworth in two in court. And me seeing it all from this very chair. Well, something like that. This judge. His imagination is about as vivid and creative as Detective Gumshoe.
I would look at the fool if I commented... Oh. I would look the fool if I commented on such foolishness. Anyway, this case is mine. Miles Edgeworth. Calling everyone by their full name. Can't you do something about that habit of yours?
After my bath.
I finished my bath around 11, and I thought I should return to the inner temple. How far is it from your room to the inner temple? Let me think a moment. About 20 minutes, on these stumps of mine. It's about 15 minutes to Dusky Bridge from Hazakura Temple. The inner temple is just beyond the bridge. Still, you never made it back there that night, did you? That's right. I was heading along the walkway towards the main hall. And as I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard. I took a look and... Hold it. You say you heard a noise? Thump, just like that. That could only be the sound of the victim falling. It's very quiet in the temple, you know. You can even hear the snow falling from the branches. Thump, just like that.
But then, couldn't this noise you heard have been the snow falling to the ground?
I never thought of that.
Ah!
The next one to laugh gets a whipping. Well, whatever the source of the sound, I looked over at the courtyard and... Iris was... Oh, Mystic Elise. And with that sword of all things. This is the second time that the witness has testified to seeing the defendant. But some doubt remains in these claims. Hey, just what does that mean? Just because you're a good-looking young man doesn't give you the right to...
Where's my whipping?
The murderer who stabbed the victim with a sword.
His drawings look so weird in 1080p. I know, right? They do. It's super weird.
The murderer who stabbed the victim with the sword. Sister Bikini, try to recall exactly who it was you saw, as clearly as you can. Well, you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you.
Yeah. Yeah, right?
Oh, now that you mention it, there was something awfully strange about her. Something that has been bugging me all this time. Please, don't keep us in suspense. Her hood! Her hood? That's right! It's coming back to me! Iris, she wasn't wearing her hood. I thought something was out of place, but it all makes sense now, doesn't it? After all, she'd given that hood away to someone, right? You've dug your own grave, Miles Edgeworth.
TwitchBot never posted I went live on Discord. What the frick? What the hell? Well, if someone wants to post, yeah, thanks. He's the Canadian judge. Is it important? Sure. Let's say it's important. This may initially appear to put me at a disadvantage, but I can't see any other leads at the moment. Your Honor, I would like these new statements to be added to the testimony.
Miles Edgeworth. If you want to hang yourself, you need only to ask. I'll gladly lend you my whip.
Witness, add that statement to your testimony.
No problem. Now that you mention it, Iris didn't have her hood on.
Do I want to press this?
You're sure about that? Yes, after all, we always wear the same clothes. I don't mean because we're poor, you understand. It's our style. Yes, that's it.
There's absolutely no need to explain yourself. Anyway.
She looked different from normal, so that really stuck out.
Like me, holding a whippet puppy instead of my whip.
At least it might bite you and then not someone else. Iris didn't have her hood on, I'm sure of it.
Very well. Now, please tell us about the victim, eh?
Mystic Elise was staying in the corner room, which faces out onto the courtyard. The room with the victim was staying... Oh, blah. The room the victim was staying in overlooked the courtyard, correct?
Which means the victim's room was on the second floor?
Judge being Canadian, right? No. Hazakura Temple is a single-story building. But the mountain itself slopes downward, which elevates the main gate of the main gate side of the temple and guest rooms in the back to about the height of a 2-story building.
I see. And the victim was staying in one of these elevated rooms, correct?
Yes. The temple is like teetering on top of the mountain. Yeah, basically. It's very rickety. Yes, I should know. I'm the one who carried all her things to her room, after all. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of her window. What makes you so sure about all of this? It's just like I told you earlier. I heard a noise from the courtyard, okay? The temple's tittering on the top. You love invading people in Sen's fortress. Plans? That's fucking rude. Thump, just like that. You're one smart sister, I'll give you that. The autopsy report states that the victim's body was covered in bruises, indicating a fall from around 10 feet in height.
It appears that the witness was not mistaken then. Yep.
Yep, I'm more than just a pretty face, especially in winter. I'm a woman of faith, after all, the head honcho of Hazakura Temple. There's only two of them working there. What's wrong, Miles Edgeworth? No snappy comeback remark? It doesn't feel like she's lying. This is very powerful testimony, too. She claims to have seen the instant in which the defendant stabbed the victim. There are only two things I can believe in right now. No, the bridge is 15 minutes away from the temple. I think. Wait, is the court... No, the courtyard's directly behind the temple. Yeah. I think it's 15 minutes to the bridge from here. Oh, her room is 20 minutes away from the inner temple. Yeah, inner temple. Okay, yeah. My client Iris and my own abilities as a defense attorney. There's also... Oh, hey, Eliter. Welcome. Okay, wait, hold on. I think 2, 3. Fifth one? Yeah, okay. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of her window. Loss of blood from stab in the back. Body fell 10 feet after death. After death. How am I? I'm good. I'm good. Just doing some voice acting. Take that. Objection. Sorry. Impressive logic. That's what I'd like to say anyway. You know what? I should be saving also in case I fuck up real bad. Did you finish Frida? No, I didn't. I didn't. I'm hoping tomorrow. Really hoping tomorrow. Because after that I'm going to be on vacation until December 4th. So if your soul level 35 went, oh, maybe. I like how Layton objects with have a look in Phoenix versus yes. I really like that game. There was some, like, obviously some weak points to it, but, like, overall, I like their team up. Impressive logic. That's what I'd like to say, anyway. Oh, please do. My brain is something else, especially in winter. However, I think you're overlooking one thing. Miss Von Karma, would you be so kind as to take another look at the autopsy report? The autopsy report? The victim did fall from a height of 10 feet. However, this fall was after she was killed. Ah!
That's right. It says after death right here.
The scene the witness claims to have seen is contradictory. If the defendant stabbed and killed the victim there in the courtyard, how did the victim then go on to take a 10-foot fall? Ah!
Order. Victim was killed and then fell. If that is the case, then the victim must have been killed in her room. Don't you agree?
That is the logical conclusion. Yes, that's right. The victim must have been stabbed by the defendant in her own room. And then she was thrown out of the window down into the courtyard below. Were there any signs of a struggle in Miss Donim's room? She was stabbed with a sword. That would leave a bloodstain, wouldn't you agree?
Well, Miss Von Karma, was there any blood?
Ah! No traces of blood were found in the victim's room.
Your whip has just caused traces of blood to be found on my glorious playoff beard. However, if there was no blood in the room, then you claim that...
I'm sure there's no need for me to go over this. As I'm sure Your Honor is well aware of when a stab wound produces the most blood.
When it produces the most blood?
Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of the blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed. Indeed, with the weapon still in place, it acts like a lid on the wound.
That's true. With the weapon still in the body, there wouldn't be much bleeding. A perfectly reasonable line of thinking.
We have come to a conclusion then. The victim was thrown out of the window with the sword still in place. This removes all of the contradictions.
Order, order, order. I must admit that this is a probable version of events.
I'd expect no less from Franziska von Karma. She locates and takes control of every vital point.
It seems that we need a clearer testimony from the witness. Remove all supposition on your part and please tell us only the facts, please. Witness, please remain standing on the crate.
Don't go selling me short now.
I love how angry she is.
She's back up on the crate. The weight of the winter snow has bent me out of shape. Especially my back and my mood. Sister, please give us your testimony. I will give you a vigorous massage once we are finished here.
With the whip?
Oh boy. Alright, alright.
Yeah, she's into it. Okay.
New How to Train Your Dragon movie comes out. I still have not seen the first or second one. I feel like I need to. There's a meme, with a cartoonish Leighton and Luke riding a Phoenix-level drawn horse. I don't know if I've seen that. Crime, we agreed that you can't go on vacation until after you beat Frida. Excuse me, I did not fucking agree to that.
I mean, it would be very nice if I did.
Glorious playoff beard, yeah.
Yeah, there was a huge, like, gimmick at the beginning where they were, like, where she was too short when they oh, sorry. They played it again, like, a second ago.
Okay. Further details.
Let's listen to your fucking testimony.
Okay. When I looked across at the scene, the sword was already in place. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise. I'd never seen so much blood before. That's when I fainted. Can you blame me? Can you? And when I woke, Mystic Amy was stabbing Mystic Elise through the back. Poof.
This all confirms Miss Von Karma's theory.
Von Karmas strive for nothing but perfection. Putting together such facts is nothing for me. You should know that, Miles Edgeworth. Perfection is such an impossibility, Franziska von Karma. And I'm here to teach you just that.
Facts!
When I looked across at the scene, the sword was already in place. At that time, was the victim bleeding? Well, I was very shocked to be seeing all this, of course. So I'm not entirely sure.
I'm just using that word pretty loosely. Yeah, a little bit.
But I don't think I saw any blood, not then. I'm sure that you didn't. The weapon was acting as a plug for the wound. In any case, let's be clear on one very important point. Did you actually see the instant in which the victim was stabbed? Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise. Think carefully. This is very important. It's Iris we're talking about here. I'm thinking for all I'm worth. No, when I looked over, the sword was already in Mystic Elise's body. It might not be conclusive, but this testimony supports her theory. The victim was stabbed in her room and then dropped into the courtyard. I think this proves it rather well, Miles Edgeworth. I've never seen so much blood before. So you're saying that you saw the victim's blood? That's right. Some of it had splattered onto Iris, too. When the defendant was arrested, she was meditating in her room. And her blood-flecked... and her blood-flecked clothing was neatly folded in the corner.
What? Her clothes were blood-flecked as well? That seems quite conclusive to me.
What should I do? Press this point further?
Going back to your previous statement, you said that you saw little bleeding.
Oh, you said that you saw little bleeding when the victim was stabbed. And now you say you saw the victim bleeding?
Well,
I say what I saw is what I saw.
What did you see?
Maybe I didn't see the poor woman get stabbed, but I saw the girl pull the sword out of her, plain as day.
Pulling the sword out?
Well, it wasn't exactly pulling. It was more like it came out.
Witness, you will add this statement to your testimony.
Oh, was that important?
Wouldn't be able to play this game, I'm already steaming. This is a very good case. It's a very long case, but it's very good.
More important than you can imagine. I saw the instant in which the blade plunged into the hilt was smoothly drawn out.
I hate bikini. This witness is not nearly as fucking annoying as like a million other witnesses in this game. Some of them are really fucking frustrating to deal with. Okay.
Smoothly, you say. You're saying you saw the sword smoothly slide out?
Also, if you don't want to play the game, the anime is very good. It's based off of the first and second games. No, wait, they did all of them. They finished up to the end of the trilogy.
It's on Crunchyroll. Smoothly, you say. You're saying that you saw the sword smoothly slide out. That's right. The whole thing happened right next to the gold statue of Mystic Amy. Mystic Elise was on the ground, and Iris was stooped over her. The sword was buried up into the hilt. When Iris stood up, the sword in her hand just slid out of Mystic Elise's body. It slid out of that gaping wound. Ah!
It goes without saying that if the sword was removed, there would be bleeding.
Nothing out of place here. Is that really the case? I can't help but feel that something about this testimony is very out of place. That something which couldn't possibly have happened appears to have happened.
Yes, it's that statement. Hold on. Oops. Okay, I'm pretty sure I have to actually present the sword for this, but I want to press these statements because I want to see what they say.
Was the bleeding caused by the killer removing that sword? No mistaking it. I remember it all, clear as day.
Don't you think that's a bit odd?
What do you mean, Miles Edgeworth? Why would the killer pull out the sword? What? If all she wanted to do was place the weapon in the hand of the gold statue, then there was no reason to remove it from the body. All that would have accomplished is causing the victim to bleed unnecessarily. Your thoughts, Miss Von Karma?
That's... Indeed. It is strange now that you mention it. I'm gonna need to find an answer to this mystery, too.
Ugh. Anyway, the witness saw something terrible. So what did you do after that, witness? That's when I fainted. You can't blame me, can you? Now, on to what the killer did next.
You saw none of it, correct?
Well... This isn't the Canadian court system. This is the Canadian judge in the Japanifornia court system. Well, I was unconscious.
How long were you out for?
I don't know. 10, maybe 20 minutes? As a young man with a very prickly-looking head woke me up. By stepping on me, actually.
I'm not sure I like that method of resuscitation.
Well, I wasn't asking for mouth-to-mouth or anything of the sort. But I would have welcomed a more gentle awakening right about then, let me tell you.
I shall have words with the offender personally. What did you see upon awakening?
When I awoke, Mystic Amy was stabbing Mystic Elise through the back.
By Mystic Amy, you were referring to the golden statue, correct?
Just stabbing someone with the
Shido.
A sacred treasure is terrible enough. But then to make Mystic Amy hold the blade?
Truly, a heinous, despicable crime. It is easy to despise something. Anyone can do it. However, there is something that cannot be done so easily. Whatever it is, I'm sure it's doubly hard for you. Anyway, what's the problem? Exactly why would the killer set up this gruesome scene? Can anyone explain the reasoning behind that? You playing this game and I'm over here playing with my balls, my Pokeballs. Very good. No, I don't think I can. There isn't always a logical reason behind why someone acts.
That's true. So true. In early spring, for example, I often find myself...
There isn't always. That phrase might come in handy someday. There are too many unnatural elements in this case. Why was it necessary to use the Shishido from the Amy statue as a weapon? Why was the weapon ultimately placed back in the hand of the statue? If I can expose the flaws in this testimony, perhaps then I will be able to find the truth. Okay, I feel like this is the... No, wait, is it? Smoothly drawn out. Yes. How can you smoothly draw out that fucking sword? Look at this fucking thing. Are you serious about that? Yes. Sister Bikini. You are a reliable witness. At least, I'd like to think so. But there are too many contradictions here.
What do you mean? You make it sound as though I'm a liar. But you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you.
What contradictions are you talking about? In the scene that the witness claims to have seen, the weapon was thrust up to the hilt in the victim. Furthermore, the killer withdrew the weapon smoothly from the body. However, both of these are complete impossibilities. What do you mean? Please explain yourself. To start with, do you think it would be possible to stab someone to the hilt with this? No matter how I look at the defendant, she doesn't appear strong enough for that. Doesn't appear? What meaningless dribble. I, too, may appear to be weak and frail, but I can crush men under my heel and make them weep, should I choose so. The objection stands. I wept a little back there, I must admit. That isn't the only issue here.
If this sword was truly stabbed into the body up to the hilt, well, just look at all the branches on it. It certainly wouldn't come out smoothly. That's... We also have the problem of the amount of bleeding. It's true that when a blade is left in a body, it acts as a plug of sorts. However, when the weapon is shaped like this, it's an entirely different story. The wound would be too large for the blade to completely stop the bleeding. That's nothing more than conjecture. In reality, the victim was stabbed with the Chichichito. Even a weapon of this nature may still sometimes slide out smoothly, and may still sometimes stop the blood loss. I'm not finished. There is still one more conclusive contradiction.
You've still got more?
This one is simple. If this sword really was thrust in all the way to the hilt... Okay. Why is there only blood on the tip of it? Ah. If this witness is telling the truth, then there should be blood along the entire length of the sword. No! Order, order! Wah! Bravo, Miles Edgeworth. Raising this many contradictions from a single piece of evidence. All the other attorneys I know could maybe manage one, if that.
But what does this all mean? You have proven contradictions regarding the murder weapon, but...
Having come this far, there can only be one answer. And that is... the weapon used to kill the victim was not the Shichichito.
What?
A foolishly foolish idea born from the foolish mind of a foolhardy, foolish fool. Let's examine this again. What was it that made us think the sword was the murder weapon? Well... It's because Mystic Amy was holding it. Exactly. However, if you reflect on this, that is the only basis we have to assume such a thing. The impression left by the scene was just too strong. That is what influenced us. It influenced us to believe that the Shichichito was the murder weapon.
Witness has perjured herself over and over again. Yep. Order, order!
So maybe the Shichichito was not the murder weapon. Even if that is the case, it changes nothing, Miles Edgeworth. The sister here saw everything. She saw the defendant stab the victim with a sword-like object.
That's true. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth?
I feel like there might have been... I've played a lot of Ace Attorney games. I think that has been a point in a game or two. If that is so, I would like the prosecution to answer the obvious question it raises.
The obvious question?
Yes, namely, where did the real murder weapon disappear to? It goes without saying that the police searched the main hall and the surrounding area. Perhaps the prosecution can enlighten us as to if a sword-like object was found? That's...
Answer the question, Miss Von Karma.
No evidence of that kind was found.
Another mystery to throw onto the pile. A trial without a murder weapon is a tricky beast.
Excuse me, could I say something? I just remembered something, actually. What is it, sister? I was just thinking, it's possible that just maybe what actually happened was... It was just over there.
What exactly are you going on about here?
The murder weapon, I mean. Maybe... I think I might know where the sword was disposed of.
You what?
Well then. I think we need to hear testimony from you one more time, sister. Why is Magikarp one of the damn Pokemon in this game? Good. Does anyone know if Jigglypuff is in that game? Oh, because Gyarados. Okay, that makes sense. Does anyone know if Jigglypuff's in this game? Can someone answer that question for me? Impossible. What else? What else could this old woman have seen? Thank you, Liv. I saw the murder at around 11 p.m. And after asking that it be reported, I went out to the main gate. And there, I saw tracks. Tracks that indicate the snowmobile had been used. It takes 15 minutes to walk to Dusky Bridge, but less than 5 using one of those. Maybe they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back while I was knocked out? Iris could have done that. She can drive a snowmobile after all.
Witness, please. Tell us everything you know right away next time.
Well, I'm not in the best of shape. What with my back and my age, you know. Quite. There were indeed snowmobile tracks in front of the main gate. Here is a photograph.
Look at this graph. A snowmobile, eh? I see. Well, it certainly is an interesting theory.
Unattainable! What the fuck? I can't believe it. I've never played a Pokemon game without having Jigglypuff on my team. What the fuck? Guys, I'm devastated. What the fuck? Can you trade a Jigglypuff in from another game? No, because there's only a national dex, right? Or like, sorry, there's no national dex, it's just a regional dex. Fuck. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. The tracks begin in front of Hazakura Temple and run all the way down to Dusky Bridge. But there's a fucking Magikarp. Fucking flips. That solves your pesky little problem, yes? The Eagle River's current is quite swift, meaning that it doesn't freeze over in winter, making it the perfect place to dispose of the murder weapon. Did she really go to the river to dispose of the murder weapon?
Mr. Edgeworth, your cross-examination, please.
Oh, shoot. I saw the murder at around 11 p.m.
You are sure about the time?
Yes. I was worried about it after all.
Yeah, you're probably right about the weather. Hold on.
Because it didn't snow until 11?
Oh, 7 to 10:50. Okay. Why was that?
Because I have a strong sense of responsibility, especially at this time of year. The Acolyte was being doused in freezing water at the time. I couldn't very well take it easy in the bath all night, could I? So at 11, I decided to leave Hazakura Temple.
Her estimation of the time seems reliable, at least.
Please continue, sister. And after asking that it be reported, I went out the main gate. You asked Phoenix Wright to report the crime, correct?
Right.
The one who trampled me.
It seems she's the type to hold a grudge.
There isn't a phone in the main hall, so I sent him to the bridge.
Phoenix Wright.
He didn't even have his cell phone on him.
He had forgotten it at home, apparently. Yeah. Fucking Phoenix.
What a naive boy, as always. Not only do I always carry my phone, but I always have my whip in hand, too. Anyway, I was really scared, and it was taking him a while to get back. So I thought I'd go out by the main gate for a spell. And there, I saw tracks. Tracks indicated the snowmobile had been used. As I recall, there was a snowmobile outside the main gate when I visited. That's it. That's the only one we have. It'll run no matter how much snow falls. Now, you're certain the snowmobile was there at the main gate when you arrived? Yes, of course. It was parked in front of the gate. So, she had already gone, discarded the murder weapon, and returned by that time. I'm not sure if this is really relevant. What should I do? I need answers to every possible doubt. The snowmobile in question, was it still warm at that time? Huh? Huh? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean, eh? What do you mean, Miles Edgeworth? I'm playing to a slow crowd here. It goes without saying that using a snowmobile will heat its engine. If it was still warm, then it means it was recently used. See, I never thought of that.
That's right. I overlooked that too.
Of course you did. Then answer the question, please, witness. I don't often go around touching hot engines. However, now that you mention it, there wasn't any snow on it.
Snow?
Yes, for some reason, only the snowmobile wasn't covered in snow.
There wasn't any snow on it. Curses! It seems highly likely that the killer did use the snowmobile then, eh?
How long does it take to get to Dusky Bridge by snowmobile? It takes 15 minutes to walk to Dusky Bridge, but less than 5 using one of those.
Canadian doesn't have a snow... I don't have either of those things, but... But I don't live in an area that has, like, a ton of fucking snow, either. In that case, why didn't you use it yourself? You could have spared yourself some walking.
There's a reason for that. Have we got a moment for me to explain?
I think that's why the question was asked in the first place.
It was about a month ago.
Because she probably drives on that snow... Yeah, here we go.
I was driving my beloved's little snowmobile, happy as can be. I'd fetched some water and was heading back when I went and crashed into a tree. The tree and my back both went crunch, just like that. Crunch.
Crunch.
I haven't been able to find the courage to ride anything since then. Anyway, the killer must have used it. Maybe they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back while I was knocked out? Iris could have done that. She can drive a snowmobile after all. Another mystery to feed the fire. Was there any reason to go in and throw the murder weapon? Go and throw away the murder weapon. Luckily, there is surely a problem with this testimony. Now, all I have to do is start poking holes in this flawed account.
Did I press everything here? Oh, yeah. Didn't press this?
Well, it would have been possible time-wise. One element remains out of place here.
Oh, and what would this mystery element be?
The killer's reasoning, Your Honor. Why did the killer do all of this? Why go to the Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon when there are other methods?
Too many unanswered questions. Your response, Miss Von Karma?
Turning to me for help over the slightest thing. Why don't you think for yourself once in a while, Your Honor?
What?
She's as over the top as always. Anyway. Whatever the reason, the fact remains that the defendant could have done this. The murder weapon was disposed of in the river. Another point to me, Miles Edgeworth. Another mystery to feed the fire. Is there any reason to go in? Okay, I already read this. Yep. Okay. So... the weapon was... I don't remember how they came to that conclusion. Oh, no, that's not how she got the back injury. She always has the back injury, but I think she hurt her back more when she crashed into a tree. However, everyone, please look at this picture, even though it keeps fucking... It's too blown out over here. But if you look at this photo, there's only one fucking set of tracks here, guys. I admit this photograph proves something. It proves the snowmobile was used on the night of the murder. You finally accepted the inevitable, it seems, Miles Edgeworth. However, if what the witness says is true, then why is there only one set of tracks? What do you mean? Iris left Hazakura Temple, threw the weapon into the river, and then returned. If this was the case, then naturally there should be two sets of tracks in the snow. Those from heading out to the bridge, and those from coming back. Ah, you're right. You are forgetting one thing, Miles Edgeworth. On the night of the murder, it was snowing. The tracks leading to the bridge were erased by the snowfall. This removes your precious contradiction now, doesn't it?
I see. While she was at the river, the snow stopped, leaving just the return tracks in the snow.
What do you have to say now, Miles Edgeworth? Is there a flaw in her theory? This idea that the snowfall covered one set of tracks... Hold on. I just realized it's fucking midnight and I should, birthday. Okay. This idea that the snowfall covered one set of tracks. There's a contradiction, right? Yes. The tracks to the river were covered by snow. What a nice theory. Yeah, the snow stopped at 10. However, Miss Von Karma, that is impossible. Would you care to explain? Why there is a rude index finger currently pointed in my general direction? No need. The evidence will do all of the talking for me. On the night of the murder, the killer went to... Oh. On the night of the murder, the killer went to and returned from Dusky Bridge. In order to dispose of the murder weapon, the outgoing tracks were erased by snow. Or so claims Miss Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth, present your evidence to the contrary, eh? Evidence that the outgoing tracks were not covered by snow. Give me his fucking weather report. Witness, please tell us again what time it was when you witnessed the crime. Like I said, it was around 11. Of course, this means that the weapon was thrown away after that time, correct? On that note, please take a look at this data. This is the weather report for the Eagle Mountain. Or, it's the weather report for Eagle Mountain on the night of the murder.
The weather report?
Snow started to fall at 7 p.m., but it stopped around 10:50. Therefore, when the sister witnessed the crime at 11 p.m., the snow had already stopped falling. It is impossible for any tracks made after that time to have been covered up. Ah!
Order! Order! Very well then. It looks like Miss Von Karma's claim has been snowed in.
Wah! It's too soon to be closing this trial due to snow. Miles Edgeworth, how pathetic of you to rely on the weather of all things. Answer me this, then. When is a weather report ever correct?
No. You've got it all wrong.
I do have a sunglass emoji. I'm the only one who can use it, though.
This isn't a forecast, this is actual data.
Forecast data. All weather reports have some inaccuracies. I trust there is justice being served? Yeah. Hey, Spooky Che. Well, actually, I'm pretty sure we're almost at the end of this case, which means I still have like half an hour. I might do Twitch things after this, maybe. And turn on channel points. I don't have Pokemon yet. It may have still been snowing in the vicinity well past 11.
It's true. We cannot be totally sure, eh?
What? How did she pull that off?
It had stopped snowing at Hazakura Temple when the murder took place. You need to provide conclusive evidence of this.
I've come this far. There's no turning back now. Very well. I, too, cannot allow any doubt to remain concerning this testimony. You can't back down, can you? Such a perfectionist, Miles Edgeworth. I was here when you started playing Pokemon. Switch battery was getting low, so I had to stop. I see.
Very well then, Mr. Edgeworth. Where is your evidence that it had already stopped snowing when the victim was killed?
Yeah? Ultimately, it comes down to one point. That being, whether or not it was snowing in that courtyard when the victim was stabbed. That's right, but proving that is incredibly easy. If we want to know whether it was snowing or not, this photo will tell us everything. Of course, I am referring to the photo of the crime scene. As you can see, everything is covered with snow. With just one exception. And that is the victim herself, Miss Elise Donim. Why is there no snow on top of her? The answer is simple. It had stopped snowing when she was killed, that's why. In other words, if the killer really did go to the Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon, then in this photograph, there should be two sets of tracks. Ah! Order!
Just what are you,
Just what are you suggesting, Miles Edgeworth? To be honest, I am not entirely sure myself, but this is simply what all of the facts point to. That night, someone used the snowmobile to leave Hazakura Temple. From the tracks left, it can be understood that they were heading for Dusky Bridge. At that time, it was still snowing. Of course it was, because those tracks were erased by the snow. And then, when this person returned to Hazakura Temple, the snow had stopped. Thus, the return tracks remained. Can I say something? This all sounds a bit fishy to me. What does, sister? There is only one key for the snowmobile. Furthermore, on the night in question, we know that the defendant had it. The key was found in her room after the murder. Which can only mean that night? Iris used the snowmobile to go to the inner temple. But Iris said that she never went there. I should probably press on this point some more when I get the chance. The snowmobile can't cross the suspension bridge. So, she must have left it on the Hazakura side of the temple, or Hazakura's side of the bridge, and crossed on foot.
That sounds right.
But what's odd is, when I left Iris and returned to the Hazakura temple, I didn't see anything near Dusky Bridge. You must have just failed to see it, sister. Maybe, but when I made it back to Hazakura temple, it was there, by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean. I know what I saw. It was covered in snow, too.
But that isn't possible. Order! Order! Order in the court! What does this all mean? Ugh.
So then what was the snowmobile used for? It wasn't taken by the defendant when she went to the inner temple. If it had been, then the witness couldn't possibly have seen it by the gate. Furthermore, it wasn't used by the killer to dispose of the murder weapon. If that was the case, there should be 2 sets of tracks in this photo. All we know is this. After it stopped snowing, someone used the snowmobile to return to Hazakura Temple. I never thought a simple snowmobile could cause so much trouble.
I think we've learned all we can from this witness.
Yes, I've nothing more to add. I've told you everything that I know.
But then, that still leaves us with the same problem. If only there was someone, a witness who could testify to having seen the snowmobile.
A witness, huh?
Was there no one out walking, perhaps, near Dusky Bridge on that night? Hello, all dessert time. Fisherman's delight. Fill a dessert bowl with berries, dust with sugar, fill with heavy cream till the berries float, and add an ounce of whiskey and rum. What the frick? Holy shit. That sounds really good. Thank you, Astro Stalker Saint.
Yo, I love berries. I love creamy stuff. I love whiskey. Man, thank you.
Was there no one out walking, perhaps, near Dusky Bridge on that night?
I don't think that's likely. It was cold enough to freeze your ears off. Only an idiot would go out wandering in that. Unless they had something really important to do.
That's a shame. Hold on. Something is coming to me. An idiot may well have been gone wandering out that An idiot may well have gone wandering out on that subarctic night. Your Honor. Actually, there just might be one individual who may be of help to us. Really? You know of someone that might have seen the snowmobile on the night of the murder? I don't know for sure if he saw it or not. But there are 2 things about him that do come to mind. Which are... First, that he saw something incredible on the night of the murder. East Coast Canada is common for that kind of dessert and food using heavy cream. I lived in East Coast Canada. I've never heard that dessert recipe. That sounds really good. Yeah, it does sound fucking amazing. First, he saw something incredible on the night of the murder. And the second being... Copy and paste it. You are absolutely right. I should 100% do that. Are you from Nova Scotia? I lived there for 2 years? Copy and paste this into stream. There we go. Oops, no, that didn't... Without formatting.
Without formatting. Frickin' heck. Okay, whatever. This individual that I am thinking of went wandering outside on that cold night. In other words, he is our kind of idiot. Born and raised in the fishing communities. That's awesome. That's really cool. Thank you so much for the recipe. It sounds really good.
Mr. Edgeworth, who is this idiot you're talking about?
It's frickin' Larry Butts.
This guy must be a product of Jean-Luc de Laduc's Guide to Obnoxious French Painting. Ugh.
This is Larry Butts, a disciple of the victim, Elise Stonim. Oh, thanks for the follow, Astro Stalker Saint. Welcome to the MCU.
Her student? Interesting.
MCU being Metroid Crime Universe. Sometimes I say that and I'm like, we're not an affiliate with the Marvel Cinematic Universe at all.
Very clearly. And why was he wandering about on the night of the murder?
That's... I could tell them all about his designs for Iris, but it may cost us his credibility as a witness. Before I even call him. He is, after all, an artist. He was, perhaps, searching for something in the snowy scenery that would move him. Although I cannot guarantee that this is the reason. And so, this unfortunate, unreliable-looking man, what exactly is it that he saw? I intend to extract that from him right here in this courtroom.
Summon this youth as a witness immediately.
I have no choice, do I? I believe he's in the gallery for this trial. It will not take long to summon him.
Very well.
Larry. You may have escaped me yesterday, but today I'm gonna get everything out of you.
The court will now adjourn for a 20-minute break. Miss Von Karma, please see to preparing the next witness.
Understood, Your Honor.
Good. Well then, court is now in recess.
Okay. This will not be a 20-minute recess, it will be a 2-week recess! Because I'm not playing this game again until... December 4th. Save your progress, yes. Yeah, this sounds like a good coworker to know, definitely.